Hello, everyone, and welcome to season 41 of TGP1. We are here for the Netherlands and the Hungarian Grand Prix. Tonight, we're in the short qualifying with the 35% race here in Zandvoort. We're currently watching ERT Casper, one of the men have won a Grand Prix this season. Only 4 drivers have won a Grand Prix. He's currently sitting P5 in the qualifying standings. Softy, who's got 6 Grand Prix wins this season to match his 6 championship victories, is currently in provisional pole with just over 5 minutes remaining in the session. We begin tonight on Tuesday night in Zandvoort, the lovely circuit of Zandvoort, in the glaring sunshine. It's going to be a very sunny race. There's no rain scheduled as Casper up to the line only can manage 4 fastest, so the second row of the grid for himself. Kai just coming into the pits now. Court Gill coming round to begin his lap in the Alfa Romeo. It's been an impressive season from Court. He's quite high up in the championship standings. We'll watch him as he goes round. But your championship standings as we go into the 11th round of the season. Softcop leads on 210 points. And his closest challenger, New Zealand Cam, who is best, will be third. He's going to take no further part in qualifying at the moment. He's got 134 points. Casper, he's on 121, which is also the same amount of points Machine Fishy in P4 has got. Fifth is Matt Tibbles on 83, with Court very close behind in sixth on 80 points as he comes through the first sector. Now into sector 2 he goes. It's looking good, and he's run very wide. And that'll be the end of his lap. And if he's not quick to get back to the pits, it might be the end of his qualifying session. Dom Smith in the Ferrari. What will he be able to do? Down in P17, not where he wants to be. He's currently in that battle for about P13 in the championship with Dan Morris and Lewis Craig. He'll be wanting to try and catch up to those guys. Obviously, former TGP2 champion, Mr. Dom Smith. Not be happy with P17, but it's not been a great season for car number 7 in the Ferrari. Down in P15, he'll not be happy with that in the championship standings. He'll be hoping that him and Phil can climb in the championship. In the constructors, they're obviously not going to challenge up the top for the championship in the drivers, but Ferrari will want a top 5 finish in the constructors if they can manage that. And it's looking good for Dom Smith so far. He's about 3.5 tenths up. That should close him into that battle with Dan Morris, but not quite close him in enough to take P16 off the Alpine, who's currently in the pits. Dom Smith will open up the DRS, which will probably be his final run in qualifying tonight around Zandvoort. He'll run up to the line, use all of that battery he's got left, and it's only P17 for Dom Smith, not an improvement in position, and that's a very disappointing qualifying as the guys at the front are starting to begin their outlaps and get the heat into those soft tyres. As it's kind of just 2.5 minutes to go until the end of qualifying. Everyone's only going to have one more run at this. One more opportunity to try and catch Softy, who's currently leading by just over 2 tenths of a second. It's going to be Softy to begin the final push. It'll be him that crosses the line first towards the end of this session, setting the pace early. In P1 at the moment, he's won the last 5 Grand Prix. He's won 6 Grand Prix this season, and what looks to be his 7th championship winning season in the Aston Martin. Softy has dominated every race in the last 3 weeks at the moment. He only lost in Great Britain because of a time penalty, and Softy not improving at the moment. As he comes past the cranes now, he'll want to have a flying sector 2, try and improve that time, that Jack Hickey's the closest man at the moment, as you see everyone on their outlaps bar the top 2. Softy now, it's not been the cleanest of laps from Softy. He'll open up the DRS, he's going to have a wee bit of traffic further ahead, yellow flags going as guys move out of the way, but Softy, it's not been too impressive. He is improving, but not by much. It might be enough though. The current gap at the moment, 2 tenths, looking to try and make that 3-4 tenths if he'll come round the final corner now. He'll open up the DRS. There is a wee bit of slipstream as Softy's actually peeling into the pits, so it's not going to be enough for Softy at the moment. Johners up into P5. That's a good lap from him. Matt Tibbles, he'll be the next one to try and challenge the soft cop. Matt Tibbles, he's had a really good season so far in season 41. Obviously a former TGP1 champion, has not been up there in recent seasons. As we end sector 1 now, he's improving just about. He's kind of matching his pace. He wants to overtake Jovial Manti. He's the closest man in the battle to Matt Tibbles. Matt Tibbles, he'll be wanting to break into the 1 minute 8, so that would be a good time for him to get into, try and challenge Machine Ireland and Dan the Man. Matt Tibbles in P5 in the championship. His battle this season has been with Court Gill, and the battles they've had have been absolutely excellent. Matt Tibbles fighting for podiums all season. He could have had race wins if it wasn't for slight mistakes and slight strategy errors, but the Haas man has been very impressive this season. He's going to come round the final couple of corners now. He'll open the DRS. Matt Tibbles in the Haas, car number 9. Not been the best season in real life for Haas, but Matt Tibbles showing what could be, and Matt Tibbles only managing P8, so he does manage to get ahead of Gioviamani, who's still got to go, and he's not improving at the moment. We'll see. Is Casper improving? No. Is Jack Hickey going to improve? He's going slow, so that could be the end for Jack Hickey. That should be his qualifying over. Casper, he's probably going to be one of the few that could challenge Softy, but that gap is 0.4 of a second. That's a big gap for the two-time TGP1 race winner to catch. He's going to try and get on to the top, the front row of the grid. Can he catch Jack Hickey? It's only 2 attempts. He's had a bit of a moment beginning of sector 3 there. Has the Alpine driver obviously won 2 Grand Prix this season. He's not been very impressive last week. He's had a bit of a disaster week last week. It's going to run up to the line. What will it be for Casper? It is going to be P2, and he knocks Jack Hickey off the front row of the grid, and that's exactly what Casper needed to try and put the pressure on Softy, as Casper is the closest man to try and put any pressure on him. Machine Ireland, he's not improving, so it's only going to be P8 for the Brazil Grand Prix race winner. Lewis Craig, he's not improving, and I think that could be it for qualifying. Dan the man has actually sneaked up and stole the front row of the grid from Casper, the Alfa Romeo driver, who, with about 6 minutes to go, was in P16. He moved himself up into P6. He's now in P2, front row of the grid. A great qualifying for Dan the man, front row of the grid for the Dutch Grand Prix. 35% race distance. We've got 25 laps of a very fuel-heavy circuit here in the Dutch Netherlands country. Guys are going to have to overfuel the car. The safety car should be on, so maybe guys going to risk it or underfuel the car. But around Zandvoort, if there's not a safety car, you're going to have to lift and coast for pretty much the whole Grand Prix. But just like it's been all season, Softy dominates. He takes pole position, another pole position for the 6-time world champion. Dan the man will join him on the front row of the grid with Casper and Jack Hickey on the second row. Cam and Johners on the third row, with Gioviamani and Machine Ireland making it an all-Irish fourth row. Matt Tibbles and Court Gill, 9th and 10th. Speed Kai and Lewis Craig, who have had few battles this season, in 11th and 12th. Wet Lemons with a good qualifying in 13th. Alistair in P14, he'll be disappointed with that. Phil on the mediums, couldn't manage a soft run, he'll be disappointed with 15th. Dan Morris and Dom Smith very far behind Lewis Craig. They won't be happy with 16th and 17th. Cliff Johnson and Neil Jack join 18th and 19th, with Mr. Giapelli, the final man on the grid, not what he would have been wanting in the Mercedes, starting 19th and 20th. But we're getting ready to go here in TGP1 for the Dutch Grand Prix. It's the 11th round of the season before we travel the 826 miles to Budapest for the Hungarian Grand Prix. But it's all about the Dutch Grand Prix at the moment. As the cars are on the grid, the drivers getting their final preparations, their strategies all in order to try and win this Grand Prix. And Softy, 6-time world champion, probably the first man that would ever be in the TGP1 Hall of Fame, has equalled the pole record tonight. 89 pole positions for Softy. Dan the man on the front row of the grid in P2. He did everything he could to try and hold on to his record previously set a couple of seasons ago. Dan the man will be disappointed to have someone else joining him for 89 pole positions. That record, Softy equaling another record. Obviously, he got the record for the most positions gained in a Grand Prix in Canada. He went from 19th to 1st and won the Canadian Grand Prix. But we're on the grid. We've got 2, we've got 3, 4, and it'd be 5 red lights for the Dutch Grand Prix. It's lights out and away we go, and it's a good start from Softy. Dan the man going to try and challenge him into turn 1, but it's not going to be enough. Jack Hickey as well, under pressure from the Williams of New Zealand. Cam behind. Cam, the reigning defending champion, trying to move ahead of John as he manages to hold on to his position at the moment. Does Cam. Cam going to try and go round the outside in the bar. Behind is Gioviamani and Matt Tibbles, who are both on the medium tyres. They're side by side, and Matt Tibbles moves and holds on to P7 at the moment. There's battles further down the order. Casper in P3, trying to put some pressure on Dan the man. Softy got away nice and clean though, and it seems to be all clear through the first sector on lap number 1. Casper going to try go down the inside there, not really an overtaking position. And Casper has to hold on to the final step of the podium for now, as it seems to be all clean at the moment. Matt Tibbles now on the back of the Red Bull driver, Odd Johners. Matt Tibbles going to try and make a move. No DRS yet in this stage of the Grand Prix though, not going to be enough for the Haasman. And Softy already 7 tenths clear of Dan the Man. Dan the Man on those soft tyres. ERT Casper obviously on the softs as well, and Softy's absolutely blast clear. He's almost in, broken the DRS, and look at that cam, is right on the back of Jack Hickey, and you can see the Alpine of ERT Casper going to try and make a move as well. Casper down the inside, he goes to Dan the Man, and Jack Hickey going to try and hold on to P4, and he does so. Casper now into P2. Can he put the pressure on Softy? 7 tenths the gap, some moves further back. Machine Ireland's dropped down the order. He's on the hard compounded tyres though. Going to try go long like he did in Spa last week. Speed Kai in 10th. He's made up a position. And Cam has actually passed Jack Hickey now. Jack Hickey maybe have made a mistake in that part of the circuit. Not really somewhere you can see many overtakes unless you get a good run. But Cam, the reigning champion, up into P4 on the grid. Now got the challenge of catching Dan the Man and trying to pass the Alfa Romeo. That's not been an easy task this season so far. It's been one of the harder things to do. And Jovial Manti now, he's under pressure from the Red Bull and Machine Ireland on the hard compounded tyres. That should be a hard move. And Wet Lemons actually down the inside of Court Gill. He goes and Court has actually made contact, and Wet Lemons is round. Not the beginning of the Grand Prix that Wet Lemons would have wanted. He's down into P19 now. And Casper, he's beginning to claw in that gap. He is 5 tenths now. He sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Softy on the mediums, Casper on the softs, like we've seen in Spa. Casper now, he needs to put the pressure on Softy. He needs to make the move and get ahead before the pit stop phase. Is obviously going to be around lap 10 as Johners now past Jovial Manti. And Jovial Manti's actually under pressure from the other Red Bull, and he manages to force him wide. And maybe Speed Kai going to look at making a move past the Red Bull on the hard compounded tyres. We'll have a look at the tyres and see what everyone is running. The top Softy in P1, he's currently running the mediums, then second and third on the softs, and then it's from 4th all the way down to 8th you've got the mediums. More people going for that medium strategy in the 35% Grand Prix, maybe running the risk that if there is an early safety car, you can run hards until the end. DRS enabled this time around. Maybe see a wee DRS train forming now that everyone's kind of settled down a wee bit in this Grand Prix. The gap's kind of all staying the same. Speed Kai currently pushing Machine Ireland through Sector 3 and all the way back to Phil Bardwell. There seems to be a wee bit of a DRS train forming, but Casper has got that gap down to 3 tenths of a second. He's going to try and make a move down the inside. He moves late. Softy going to try and defend it, and Casper's round. And Cam actually going to try and make a move for P2 on the medium tyres. Dan the Man on the softs should be able to hold on, but he can't. Cam makes the move into P2. Casper spun there. It was a late move from Casper, sorry. It was a late defensive move from Softy. We weren't on board, so I wasn't really able to see if anyone was at fault, but it's something that will be discussed later on in the night, on Tuesday night in TGP1, we will imagine. Dan the Man, though, on the soft tyres, you would imagine he should be able to catch back up to New Zealand Cam. Cam absolutely annihilated that battery, Nat Williams. He's down to 10% already. Not what you'd like when you're trying to battle Softy for the race win. Jack Hickey, he's broken out of DRS of Dan the Man. He's got to try and break that DRS of Matt Tibbles now. He's only 6 tenths back, because if you get in a battle with Matt Tibbles, you're going to lose sight of that podium very quickly. Cam, he's got back into the DRS of Softy, but with no battery available, it's practically a losing battle. And now the battle's going to happen further back down the grid. Jovial Manti, he is 2 tenths behind the Red Bull of Johners. He's going to try make a move as we go on board with the AlphaTauri. Blast past Johners down the inside. He goes before the braking zone. And Jovial Manti, kind of known for running no wings in previous F1 games, maybe running the same in Zandvoort. He is up into P6 for now. Matt Tibbles, he's closing in on Jack Hickey, but Dan the Man is actually closing in on Cam, for the P2 in the Dutch Grand Prix. What can Dan the Man do? He's currently on the soft tyres. Those soft tyres are going to be going off in the next couple of laps. So if Dan the Man is going to make a move and back past into P2, it needs to kind of be now or never. It's going to be the only opportunity he's got until the pit stop phases, because he's going to stop very early compared to these guys ahead of him. He'll open up the DRS, not really going to have enough speed because he's not close enough to make a move into this corner, but he's going to try set it up for the start-finish. It's probably going to be his last chance before he has to make a pit stop. Much more battery in the back of that Alfa Romeo, obviously turning into the kickstake team next season, but he looks quite far behind actually. As we run through the banking, he'll open the DRS and look at the closing speed in the Alfa Romeo. Down the inside he goes, and the Williams doesn't even try to defend it, but he's going to try and hold it round the outside. Goes New Zealand Calm. He does manage to hold him, but Dan the man down the inside, and Calm round the outside holds on to his position as the Red Bulls further back have swapped places, and New Zealand Calm with some great defensive driving to manage to hold on to P2 for now. All this happening, Dan the man going to try, and Calm slams the door shut. Softy managing to pull away. Matt Tibbles, though, he's right on the back of Jack Hickey now. Only 2 tenths the gap. The Red Bulls, as we said earlier in the lap, they've swapped positions, and Speed Kai is actually caught right up to the back of them. And Casper, he's right on the back of these guys as well. So this is where Casper is going to be frustrated with that incident, and that is going to cost him probably a chance of the race win. He's actually under pressure from Lewis Craig, the season 34 TGP2 champion. He's going to try and overtake 2-time race winner Casper, but he can't get the job done. Casper later on the brakes. More confidence in the Alpine on the soft tires. Lewis Craig trying to make a move, and actually he's going to be under pressure from Court Gill. Down the inside, Court Gill goes, and Lewis Craig not really got much to defend with. He's on the medium tyres. He's going to be on the run. He's not going to have DRS. He'll use a bit of the battery. He's actually going to get magged by Phil Bargewell as well. As battles happening further ahead, Machine Ireland passes Jovial Manti. Johners and Kai having a wee battle as well. And Jovial Manti, who gained that position on Johners the lap previous, is actually now behind the hard tyre runner of Machine Ireland. And those hard tyres kind of seem to be in that working window and working very well for the Red Bull Machine Ireland at the moment. Matt Tibbles now, he's stuck behind Jack Hickey, maybe running more downforce, not being able to get past on the straight. We've seen the kind of straight line speed that Dan the man had and Jovial Manti had. You'd imagine it should be an easy pass, but Matt Tibbles not having as much luck as the guys behind him are having at the moment. Speed Kai now, he's the closest man on track to making a move. He's close to Johners, but not quite close enough to make a move here at this part of the track. Lewis Craig down in P13, so he's lost out in that battle with Court and Phil. He's going to have to try and work his way back up the order. We'll see what Matt Tibbles can do this time around. Round the banking we go for the 8th time. We're beginning lap number 8, actually, sorry, so it's the 7th time we've been round. Matt Tibbles, yeah, he's not got the run that guys behind him have, and Jovial Manti, he's not quite got the run, but Speed Kai does. Round the outside he goes, he touches the grass, which is going to compromise his run on the Red Bull. He's going to try with a switchback, but it's not going to be enough for the Williams driver. Down in P9, not happy with that. Had a few incidents last week. That's not helping him out at all in the championship, but Speed Kai, for now, frustrated behind the gearbox of Johners. Frustration maybe forming in that Williams cockpit, and he's actually got Casper beginning to catch up on him now. So maybe Casper going to try and make a move. Casper needs to get back past through this traffic to try and battle Machine Ireland and Cam for P2 in the standings, and Casper's actually being forced wide by Kai because Kai's made a run, but Kai's actually going to try and make a move for P8 on Johners. Casper seems to have defended his position round the outside. Kai will go on Johners. It's a lovely move from Speed Kai, and that's actually compromised Johners' run. And Casper going to try and make a move, and actually Court Gill's going to try and make a move on Johners. Johners might have been absolutely mugged and losing 3 positions in 1 second, and Phil Bargewell's wanting a slice of this pie, and Phil Bargewell might even be making a move. Phil's going to move to the right hand side. They're 3 wide going into turn 1. The only person that's not overtaking Johners this time is Lewis Craig. Phil Bargewell going to try hold on to it. Car number 88 round turn 1 he goes, and Johners is actually magged, and Lewis Craig's even past him. Not the beginning of the lap that Johners wanted. He's gone from P9 all the way to P13. A disaster for the Red Bull, and it was just picking candy from a baby from Johners there. Down in P13, he's cycling. He's been absolutely compromised by the guys passing him. And what a disaster for the Red Bull. He's going to have to refocus and regain and try get back past these guys that have just absolutely magged him one by one. And that's going to be one clip that Dom Smith captures for the TGP1 group chat Johnner's falling like a sack of ties. Absolute disaster. Now it's all on Casper, who's actually passed Speed Kai in that action. So Kai gets past Johners for P8 and absolutely passed by Casper straight away. So Softy now, lap number 10, he begins. He's got a 1.6 second gap to Cam, the closest challenger to him, and Casper is into the pits. Those softs, he's called it a day in the Alpine Garage. Johnner's called it a day as well. There's action further back. Dan Morris has passed Dom Smith for P12, and they've got Alistair Bain behind them as well, wanting a slice of the action, and everyone seems to be coming into the pits around about now. Matt Tibbles, he seems to like the back of Jack Hickey's car. He's kind of been enjoying the view, maybe not enjoying it, maybe being frustrated behind it, but he can't seem to pass him at the moment. Jack Hickey maybe using a bit more of the battery to kind of hold on, and these guys are actually doing quite a solid job of catching up to the back of Dan the Man. He's only 1 second ahead of these guys now in the battle for that final step at the podium. Maybe Dan the Man's tyres beginning to go off. He's maybe run those tyres 1 lap too long, and Alistair Bain's actually out, and it's a safety car. So we're going to see everyone in. The guys who have just boxed are going to be compromised. Casper's down in P17. This could be a disaster for him. He's going to be having to go around the whole track. Everyone's going to be coming in for the hard tyres now, you would imagine. Maybe the softs will last the 12 laps, but you'd be risking it. Machine Ireland's really coming. He's on the hards. You'd imagine he'd come in for the mediums. His mediums will definitely go. And everyone has to peel into the pits now. So we will see. We'll have a look at the pit stops instead. So everyone down to Casper is actually going to be in danger here. We'll watch Casper and see what he does. He's round the bank and he goes. And this is going to be a disaster for Casper. He might regain some positions on the guys further ahead of him. But yeah, he's getting up to 9th, up to 8th. He gets past Kai. Yeah, so he's going to come out where he entered the pits. So he boxed from P8. But everyone's now going to have fresher rubber. And this is kind of not what Casper needed. He wanted that undercut to maybe work a wee bit more in his favour. Obviously, that 1.1 second gap to Jovial Manatee. He probably would have come out ahead of the AlphaTauri now if it was under normal conditions. But Alistair Bain DNFing in the Dutch Grand Prix in the AlphaTauri. He's not having a great season. He obviously won the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. I believe it was last season, or it might have been F1 22. So Alistair not playing the game as much as he has in previous seasons. Maybe that's showing in his form this season. But this is exactly what we needed for the lead and the battle for P1. This is going to bring Softy back into Cam and Danneman's clutches. And well, everyone's stopped now. Some guys are going to have 2 stops further back who've stopped earlier in the race for damage. This is maybe going to make the end of the Dutch Grand Prix exciting. The top 2 on the softs. Jack Hickey on the softs. Matt Tibbles is on the hards, so that may actually damage Matt Tibbles' chance at a podium here. Danneman obviously was on the softs. He's got to go on to the medium. So Danneman probably going to have the best tyres coming to the end of this Grand Prix. Matt Tibbles and Jovial Manatee and Machine Ireland are ones to watch out for as well. The softs should make the end, but we seen with Danneman's pace, they tapered off around about lap 8 and lap 9. As you see on the right hand side of the screen, AWS again with their dodgy strategy calls telling everyone to box. Now, Softy, he was kind of living pressure-free previously. It was kind of time trial for him from lap 1 to lap 11 when Alistair crashed. There was no pressure on him. He was just strolling around the circuit, enjoying life. He's going to have Cam on his gearbox now, and with this circuit, if you don't go up the line, you're kind of in danger of getting overtaken because the straight is so long. No DRS, of course, but Casper, he is known for using that battery. He's going to have that battery at 100% when we get to restart of this race. And you'd imagine 12, 13 racing laps. There's a long way to go in this Dutch Grand Prix. There's plenty of time for more incidents, more safety cars. It's going to be dry till the end. The top 2 are on soft tyres. They'll want to peel away from Danneman. But if these guys get into a battle, everyone down to kind of Casper could win this Grand Prix. Obviously, Kai, as the safety car is coming in, Kai obviously was battling Jack Hickey a couple of seasons ago for the championship. You wouldn't put a win past Kai as well. So it's kind of anyone's ball game with the tyres, with a race win. We don't really know who's going to have the best restart. Softy, obviously TGP1 legend, he'd imagine he'd be able to get away, but this kind of track, this kind of run, it's going to be hard to hold on. As you see everyone bunching up, everyone's got to watch so they don't go side by side. Of course, you're not allowed to go side by side anymore. Softy seems to have gone very early for Softy to have gone. We'll see if Cam can close the gap. Will he be able to? No DRS, it's going to be straight battery, Williams versus Aston Martin, and he's not going to have the run, but Matt Tibbles is actually in danger from Machine Ireland on the hards, maybe not got them hards up to temperature, and Matt Tibbles has had a moment, and that's cost him. Machine Ireland up to P5, that's exactly what he needed. Jovial Manny and Casper actually defending from Speed Kai, he's managing to hold on at the moment, Casper, but we go to the front, Cam's closing in on Softy, as we get the run now, down the hill, through this double right-hander that leads into one of the most beautiful sections in any F1 circuit. He's not going to be close. Obviously, DRS not going to be activated until the end of lap 14, the beginning of lap 15. So it's going to be straight Mercedes power versus Mercedes power, Williams versus Aston Martin. It's the reigning, defending TGP1 champion versus the TGP1 champion GOAT. He's the man that said he should have won the championship last season. He said if I was here for the final week, the final couple of rounds, Cam would have never won the title. And Softy is here proving this season why that would have been the case. Cam though, trying to hold on to his championship. He's the closest man. No DRS, it's going to be pure battery power. He's not going to use the battery. Cam says the fastest lap of the Dutch Grand Prix. He's not close enough. Casper is happening to P7 on the left-hand side. You can see there, and Cam's had a wee moment there. And that may have compromised the Williams run into Sector 1 this time, but can he stay close enough? He's got to stay within that 1 second. We're going to get DRS after this lap. Mr. Giapelli, his night's gone from bad to worse. He's retired. And it's a VSC which will compromise the Grand Prix. And if you've ever played an F1 game, you know you can kind of gain a wee bit of time. Not much, but a wee bit of time. So Cam just needs to try and stay close to Softy and not let Softy use this kind of delta to his advantage and gain some time. Dan the man, though, he's done a good job. He's broke the DRS of Jack Hickey. He needs to stay within the DRS now of Cam and Softy if he wants his tyres to come into a working window later on in the Grand Prix that will allow him to challenge. Cam now staying under that 5/10 gap, so he's actually doing really well to hold on to that gap. Softy not been able to manipulate it as much as he would like. The delta obviously in Formula 1 games is very easily to manipulate, but what you don't want is to pull an air in from season whatever it was long ago. And oh, look at the run Cam's had. Cam is absolutely on the back of Softy. Softy's got nothing to defend with. Cam moves to the left-hand side. Softy going to try and defend it. Down the inside he goes. On the Aston Martin car number 5 now. Cam pushed wide and they make a wee bit of wheel banging contact. And Softy going to try hold on. But Cam is giving everything in that Williams. He's wanting to win the Dutch Grand Prix. They're still side by side through Sector 1. And Cam may have to yield. But he's not going to yield without giving it every ounce of energy he's got, and Softy forces him to yield, and Cam has to hold off for now. But Cam showing Softy, you've got to do everything in your power to win the Dutch Grand Prix. I'm not going down without a fight to win here. And Dan the man is absolutely licking his lips in the Alfa Romeo cockpit. He's opening up the DRS in the back of Cam. He's actually closer to Cam than Cam is to Softy. We're starting lap number 16 as we get round the final couple of corners. Cam now, he's got to look in his rear mirrors now to see the pressure forming, and Dan the man, but he's going to try and hold on to Softy. He'll use a bit of the battery, he'll use the DRS, he'll use every ounce of energy in that Williams, but it's not going to be close enough. He closes the gap to about 0.3 of a second. What can he do as Matt Tibbles and Casper are battling tooth and nail, and those hard tyres that Matt Tibbles has gambled on have absolutely not gone his way. He is absolutely fallen down the order. He was right behind Jack Hickey. He's now down in P8 and he's actually in trouble and in danger from Court Gill and Jovial Manatee further behind, but the battle is for the podium, it's for the race win. It's reigning TGP1 champion versus the previous TGP1 champion, Dan the Man, in the background as well. He's not won a championship since the PS3 days, but he's going to try and win the Dutch Grand Prix if he can for the Alfa Romeo team. Lovely chopper cam showing the great circuit of Zandvoort here. Can Cam close the gap and put himself in a position to try and make it over? And Cam has lost the front end. Dan the Man's going to have an opportunity to try and make a pass. This time, Softy going to try and set off Cam, who made the mistake in Spa last week to probably win the Grand Prix. Has put himself under even more pressure, but he's closing. Softy's closing that gap. It's down to 3 tenths. It's down to 2 tenths. And you just have to think, if he doesn't make that mistake, he's probably past Softy this time. And that mistake where he's made previous mistakes all season. And Softy maybe having a wee moment there. And Cam's still in the back of him. Maybe the pressure creeping in to the cockpit of the Aston Martin, and Cam, who looked like he was out of the battle on this lap, is right in on the action. Is 1/10 the gap. He's going to be so close as we get into the first of 2 DRS sections in the Zandvoort circuit. Softy, he's absolutely struggling this lap. He's not got the pace. And Cam, look how close he is. He's pushing Softy round. Softy not going to be happy with the love tap, but Cam is going to be side by side coming into the turn, and he's actually past Softy. And Softy's going to be under pressure from Dan the Man behind as well. And Cam leads the Dutch Grand Prix, and look at Jack Hickey in the background. He's wanting a slice of the pie. He's wanting a bit of the action. He, a 2-time TGP1 champion, is wanting to win a Grand Prix. He could have won in Canada without getting absolutely clobbered by someone behind. And Softy now, it's his turn. Can he get back past? He has a look down the inside. Thinks better of it. Casper now back down the inside of Speed Kai and up into P6. And you just have to think, with Casper's pace, he was obviously tackled by Softy for the lead in, I think it was lap 2. Casper could have won this Grand Prix. He was, and look at Softy, he's side by side now with Cam. Cam forces him off a wee bit, he holding on to position. Cam not got as much battery as Softy. The battery in the back of the Aston Martin is a lot more, but Softy has to watch out because Dan the Man is no slouch, and if Dan the Man is a racer, he won't want to yield. He'll want to win the Grand Prix if he can, and if he can take away a P2 from Softy, he'll absolutely love that too. But Softy looking ahead, he's looking at the back of that lovely Williams car. There's a yellow flag in Sector 2, some action further down. Johners not having the Grand Prix he would have wanted. Round the double right-hander, up the banking we go. The battery in that Aston Martin is looking awfully dangerous for the Williams ahead, and Cam is going to have absolutely nothing to defend with. Softy retakes the lead of the Dutch Grand Prix, and Dan the Man's going to have a wee sniff up the inside, but it's not going to be enough. His teammate has actually passed Matt Tibos as well, and it's just going from bad to worse from Matt Tibos. We said at the beginning of the night what a great season he's been having, but tonight it's just not been going his way, and is what has been happening all season with me. When I say someone's having a good season, they absolutely have an awful night. I need to stop saying it. Sorry, Matt Tibbles and the Haas crew. I will not bring it up for the Hungary Grand Prix, but a man who I probably commentator cursed last week saying he had won the race. Cam, he made the mistake. He can't make a mistake. He needs to close the gap in the championship to Softy. He needs to get back past, and with a DRS and a bit of ERS this time on the start-finish straight, he should be able to make the move. The Williams, though, he's just holding on at the moment. Dom Smith Telecoms forcing him to disconnect again just as well. Softy is hosting the session tonight, or we would have had an absolute disaster again. But Cam, it's not about Dom's Telecoms, it's about Cam and a race win and his title defence. Can he get close to Softy? No, he can't. Softy holding on yet again on lap 20. We've got 6 laps to go, and Matt Tibbles trying to fight back. He's going to get past Court Gill up the inside, and the Haas man is up into P8, and these guys Fighting Tim. Oh, Machine Ireland's out of the Grand Prix. I'm not sure what's happened there. It's a disaster for the Red Bull man, and it's a safety car. And will we see anyone chancing some fresh rubber, some fresh softs for the last 6 laps? It will probably be the last 4 laps. Maybe guys outside of the top 5, the top 6. Matt Tibbles, he's definitely going to be one that needs to come in. Those hard tyres have been a disaster for him. And will we see anyone in the top 5 risking it for a chance at the win? And just as this Dutch Grand Prix got exciting, it's kind of calmed down a bit. I can catch my breath. And everyone's going to have to slow down, get back under the delta. We've got a wee bit of a break. Not sure what happened to Machine Ireland, but the man that won the Brazilian Grand Prix earlier on in round 1 and 2, it looked like he was going to be the man to challenge Softy. But just like everyone, Casper, Cam, Machine Ireland, they've all crumbled away at the challenge to the soft cop. And with 6 laps to go, will we see anyone box? Softy maybe having a wee pump fake. Everyone's staying out. Speed Kai with a pump fake. Matt Tibos, he's in. Court Gill, he's in. Jovial Manny stays out. Phil Bardwell stays out. Dan the man, risking it for the biscuit. He's going to box. Obviously, Dom Smith, who's disconnected from the session, is going to be his closest challenge. And Lewis Craig, not quite sure what's happened to Lewis actually. He was at the battle for like Phil and stuff. He must have had a bit of an accident further down the order when we had the safety car. I don't imagine Lewis will pit because he's so far back and he's on softs. Wet Lemons, Neljak and Johners, they might as well pit for some fresh rubber. So the order, the top 5, as we were before the safety car. Softy, Cam, Danaman, Jack, Kiki and ERT Casper. That is your top 5. The race has calmed down. I'm able to catch my breath. And as we get ready to get going again, Softy, he held on the first time just under the safety car. He timed it well. He caught Cam napping at the restart. He went early, so maybe Cam going to be aware to the early goal this time. Softy going to maybe have to go a bit late than he did previously. Softy, obviously he's got 5 wins in a row. He can make it 6 wins in a row tonight in the Dutch Grand Prix, and if he gets his 6th, he will be halfway to the Confessor's 12 race win streak. I believe Dom Smith might be able to confirm this for me during the break of races. The Confessor's 12 win race streak is the most in a row in a season of TGP1. Softy, he can get halfway there if he wins this Grand Prix, but New Zealand Cam, he ain't interested in Softy equaling that win streak. He's interested in defending his championship. And if he's not going to retain the championship, he'll want to make sure that Softy has to work his absolute nut off to get that championship win to this season. So he's going to want to finish as close as you possibly can. But they've got to watch out for Dan Le Man. Obviously not won a championship since the PS3 days, but he has won plenty of Grand Prix since. He's been one of my guys in previous seasons to win the championship before the season starts. Many seasons he's been close so many times, but just hasn't been able to get over that final hurdle. The man that won 2 championships, I believe they were back to back. Jack Kiki in the McLaren, he's going to want a race win. Casper, he won Monaco and France week 2 of the season. He won both races. He wants to win another Grand Prix if he can. He had incidents with Softy, and Cam, he's gone off. Cam almost put a Roman Grosjean, and Cam almost cost him the race win there. Speed Kai, he was in the battle for the championship not so long ago. It's not been the same since that season. He got to about halfway of the season and it kind of tapered off. But we're getting 4 laps to go, and till the end of this race it's going to be 3 laps to go when the safety car peels into the pits. So there's going to be no DRS until the last lap of the Grand Prix. We could get a run up to the line like we've never seen before in TGP1. It's going to be the best ending to a Grand Prix we've seen in a long, long time. Softy's bunching up the pack. He has basically become the safety car. As we begin lap number 23 on the next Tour of Zandvoort. Softy, he went this time, last lap, he's on about 60 miles per hour, as we come round the double right-hander. He's not gone yet, and he's gone. Will he be able to catch New Zealand Cam napping? He absolutely has. Cam is not going to have a chance to make the move, but I tell you who's going to have a chance to make the move. That's Jack Hickey. Into P3 will he go? No, he won't, but further behind, Phil Bargewell's looking racy on the back of Jovial Manny, not quite able to make a move. Dom Smith, he's chancing himself, isn't he? Battling Court Gill for P10. Dom Smith maybe having a nosebleed up there battling for that position, thinking better than he is, but Court Gill manages to hold on. Casper on the back of Jack Hickey, not close enough. Jack Hickey was close to making a move on Danneman, but no DRS, maybe costing him any chance of that. But Jack Hickey, 2 attempts is the gap. Will he be able to get back ahead and take the final step of the podium? But Casper, he's going to have something to say about that. The man that could have been up there for the win of the Grand Prix. There's a crash for the back. Court Gill dropping down the order. Not good for Court Gill down into P17 now, but unfortunately we've got to watch the battle for the front. We've got to watch Softy v Cam. Cam going to try and make a move if he can. He's not going to be close enough. At the moment, no DRS, not as much battery as Softy, but Williams, what can they do? They'll give him all the engine modes available on the pit wall. James Vowles doing everything he can to get New Zealand Cam back ahead of Softy in this Grand Prix. But it's not enough at the moment. Danneman is out of the DRS, and Jack Hickey and Casper are side by side for P4. 12 valuable points in the TGP1 Championship, but not enough for Casper at the moment. He'll have a chance as we get back round. Dom Smith has had an accident, and he said, P10, no thanks, I need to be back down to P15. Back where he belongs. But we get back to the action, and Casper on the back of Jack Hickey. What will he be able to do? Not going to be close enough in this part of the track. Lewis Craig is overtaking Dan Morris for P11. Johners is overtaking Neil Jack for P13. So their battles, retrospectively, for P13 in the championship is going Lewis Craig's way because he's been passed by Johners as well. But Matt Tibbles is on the back of Speed Kai, and it's not going to be enough. And Speed Kai had a look down the inside of Casper, and that could have been an absolute disaster again. Obviously, Softy, maybe a steward's inquiry coming about that battle on lap 2 between the Alpine and Softy. Wouldn't be the first time Softy has been involved in a steward's inquiry post the race. We begin lap 25, the last lap of the Dutch Grand Prix. Jack Hickey's going defensive on Casper. Casper will try and peel round the outside, but it's not going to be enough. Jack Hickey holds on, and Matt Tibbles' tyres are coming into a world of their own because he's gone on to the soft compound in that pit stop phase, and he's on the back of Speed Kai. He wants Speed Kai's P6 in the championship, in the race. He wants to improve on his P5 in the championship, but not for now. Casper, though, he wants to improve on P2 in the championship, and he's not going to have that at the moment. But Cam, now you've got 2 DRS zones, you've got 2 opportunities, it's going to be a run to the line, you've only got 8% errors. Matt Tibbles is retired from the Grand Prix, there's not going to be a safety car because it's the final lap. Cam, this Grand Prix win is faded away from him. Ever since the last safety car came out, it's not going to be enough unless he gets an absolute blast off of it. Casper's actually been passed by Kai. Disaster for him, but Softy's going to come round. It's going to be 6 in a row for the Aston Martin. Softy wins with Cam in second. Danneman on the podium. Jack Hickey holds on to 4th. Kai steals 5th from Casper. Jovial Manny in 7th. Phil in 8th. Chris Johnson, what a Grand Prix from Chris. He's in 9th as it rounds out the top 9. We'll get the rundown from everyone behind as everyone finished there. Chris Johnson picks up the driver of the day, and I just want to say congratulations to everyone. I don't think there was a single penalty for anyone in the Dutch Grand Prix tonight. Softy though, 6 in a row. 6 of the best for Softy, 6 championships, 6 wins in a row, and he is closing in on the magic number 7. Softy wins the Dutch Grand Prix, and Cam gave it absolutely everything to try and win. He tried everything in his power, but it just wasn't to be for the Dutchman himself in his home Grand Prix. Couldn't get it done. Danneman, though, on the podium once again. A great result for Alfa Romeo, having a great season so far. We've already run through the top 9. We'll go through 10th to 20th. Lewis Craig, top 10 again from the Scotsman. Dan Morris in 11th, Neil Jack and Dom Smith 12th and 13th. Court Gill with a disappointing night, but he picks up a point in 14th. Johners in 15th. Mark Tibos, who DNF from the Grand Prix after having such a great race at the end. It was unlucky for him. Wet Lemons, Machine Ireland, Mr. Diapelli and Alistair Bain also all DNF from the race. And yes, we were right. Not a single penalty for anyone in the Dutch Grand Prix in TGP1 tonight, showing why this league is the best of the best. Cam picked up the fastest lap. Starting in 5th, he picks up 19 valuable points in his efforts in the Drivers' Championship. It's only going to put him into P2 though. Not enough to close the gap on Softy, and Softy extends his championship advantage again by over 7 points. And well, it's only the 826 miles to Budapest, but it's only going to take us about a minute and a half. It's going to be one-shot qualifying. I believe it's 18 laps, if I'm not mistaken, around Hungary. Hungary is one to throw up some weather issues, so you never know. We might have a bit of hay or nay in the race, in the qualifying. It might be some weather-related problems, and I tell you what, Softy, Dan the Man, 89 pole positions each. Who is going to be the first man to 90? Will Softy break the record? Will Dan the Man retake his record of the most pole positions in TG1? We're going to find out. It's one shot, it's 18 laps, and if it's anything like the Dutch Grand Prix, we're in for an absolute treat. No safety car at Budapest. Thank Christ, because that would be a disaster. He'd be here all night. But Kai, he picked up P5. It was a good result for him. Jack Hickey in 4th as well. Great result for him. But I tell you what, Chris Johnson, I think that is his best result of the season in P9. We might be able to get that double checked. But congratulations to Softy's teammate Chris Johnson. Obviously been in TGP2 for many seasons, and that must feel bittersweet to finish ahead of the likes of Lewis Craig, Dan Morris, Neil Jack, Dom Smith in a race as great as that. No penalties. He did it all on the road, did Chris. He got driver of the day, and I tell you what, he started quite down the order as well, I do believe, and he picks up 6 points in the Drivers' Championship. Congratulations to Chris. But he's got to forget about that now. He's got to get ahead in the game. He's got to get back in the action for one-shot quality. This is you're only going to get one opportunity. It only takes one corner, one mistake to ruin the lap, and you're starting at the back. Not any chance. No second chances, no opportunities for mistakes. You've got to get the moves done. You've got to get a good beginning. You've got to get a good end. And I tell you what, Softy, he'll be wanting that 90th pole position, and what an opportunity it would be at Hungary, a track that Softy has won many Grand Prix at. The 90th pole position though, well, Dan the Man, Cam, Casper, Machine Ireland, these guys, they're going to have something to say about that. Guys, just getting ready, maybe having a wee break between the race, calming down a wee bit as that adrenaline packed end to the Dutch Grand Prix, maybe taking it out of the drivers a wee bitty before we get going again in TGP1 tonight. You'll need to join us next week as we head to the wonderful Middle East, as we head for the Abu Dhabi and Saudi Arabian Grand Prix on the 16th of April for rounds 13 and 14. We're in the second half of the season. It's crunch time. It's now or never. If you're making a statement, it needs to be now. And I tell you what, there's no place better to do it than Abu Dhabi or even Saudi Arabia. 2 great circuits next week. And I will be there in the commentary box again, joining you as I have been all season, and I will be all season long. But the battle for P13, spicing up a wee bit. Lewis Craig, Dan Morris, they finished only a point between them, so they're still battling. There was actually only a point, I believe, between the pair. No, Lewis Craig had a 5-point advantage, so that advantage is up to 6 points. Dom Smith, he's dropped down between those guys now, so Dom's P15, going from bad to worse. But he is ahead of Aidan Griffins, so there is that for Dom Smith to be happy about. If he could just sort his Wi-Fi out, he might actually have a chance of a good result this season. The owner of the great TGP series. Matt Tibbles, though, 83 points. He's dropped to 6th. He's actually dropped to 9th in the championship now with that DNF towards the end of the Grand Prix. We didn't see what happened, so we don't know if it was self-inflicted or if there was a crash with someone else. But Jack Hickey had a good result. Dan the Man had a good result. Phil Barger had a good result. And Court, I don't think Court would have overtaken him. I think the gap was 3 points. So Court's dropped down a hell of a lot as well. With one shot quality about to get underway, it's very sunny. We'll get Lewis Craig in the Haas garage. He'll give us a weather update after one shot qualifying. Everyone, put your setups on. Do not forget, we want everyone to have the best machinery possible going into this 18 laps in the wonderful Budapest. The emergency ponchos don't look like they're going to be needed for qualifying, which is exactly what you want to hear. The best track conditions, the best opportunity for everyone. It's one shot quality and we're getting underway. We're going to watch Cam. We'll stick with Cam as we head through the beginning of the lap. We're going into turn number 1 now. Late on the brakes as you can. Use as much of the apex. Don't use any of that exit curve. Cam is taking it nicely. The run down to turn 2. The left-hander now. Brake as late as you possibly can. Let the car roll through the corner. It's not been great for Cam. Swooping to the right-hand side. Use as much curve as you can without invalidating your lap. Up the hill we go now. One of the main places you'll see invalidations for people this time around, and it's not been the smoothest lap from Cam at the moment. As you can see down the order on his pit box is P16 for Cam at the moment, so it's not been a great lap for Cam. The pressure's on him. We've gone on board and he's having an absolute disaster. We'll have a look and see what the order is functioning out to be. It's Machine Ireland from Kai, from Matt Tibbles and Johners. What an order we've got. Softy's 90th pole position is looking in grave danger. He's trying, he's doing everything he can. He's in P3. But Softy, he might be having a disaster here. He might not be getting that record-breaking 90th pole. It looks like it's going to be Machine Ireland's. Kai is looking for a front row spot as well. Softy in P3. Machine Ireland takes pole for the Hungarian Grand Prix. Well, and Cam down in 14th. So, putting Cam under a bit of pressure, and it didn't go too well. Machine Ireland on the front row. He takes pole for the Hungarian Grand Prix. Kai with a great result. He's on the front row in P2. Softy and Casper, they're on the second row. Matt Tibbles and Johners, they're on the third, with Jovial Manny and Jack Hickey on the fourth row. It's an all-British fifth row with Dan the Man and Phil Bargeville. Court, Gill and Wet Lemons line up 11th and 12th. Lewis Craig and Cam 13th and 14th. Dan Morris and Chris Johnson 15th and 16th. Dom Smith in 17th. Mr. Giapelli and Neil Jack showing that the poor form is continuing for Mercedes. They're at the back of the field, and Alistair Bain was disqualified from the session. The Scotsman season not going to plan. He needs to get some sweat sessions on the go and get back going. But it's 18 laps. There's no safety cars. But, of course, there's going to be plenty of drama. There always is. There's never a dull moment in TGP1. There's always something going on. We are going to get lined up for the grid in about 30 seconds. It's looking dry. Hopefully it stays dry. And hopefully we have a great race for round 12 of this season. So we're just waiting for the session to begin. Kai, he's in prime position. He's going to be on the right-hand side. It's going to be the left-hand side of the grid for us watching on the televisions. But Kai, he's in prime position to make a move into turn 1 to take the lead. Machine Ireland, he's on pole. Softy in third. They'll have to watch out for Softy, but it's not going to be too much. We're on the grid. We're going to have 5 lights. As the wonderful man says, Brando, look but don't stare. It's lights out. And away we go. And it's a great start from Speed Kai into turn 1. Machine Ireland's going to move to the right hand side, and Softy is going to want a bit of the action. All the way on the left, Kai down the inside on the medium tyres. He pushes Machine Ireland wide, and Kai leads The Hungarian Grand Prix, Casper is into P2 and Softy's wanting a bit of action into turn 2 and Machine Ireland is down into P4 and he's off the track and he's down the order. He's had a Lewis Hamilton start in 2020. Oh, there's a massive crash. I don't know what's happened. Court's out of the Grand Prix. A massive crash. There's no safety car enabled, so it's just going to be as you like. Disaster for Court and Wet Lemons. I'm not sure who caused that, or if it was just an accident in the race, and it's the Machine Ireland. He's down the order. He's in 8th place. Absolute disaster on pole position. He looked like he was going to have a great beginning, but Kai just got a great second phase. And he leads the Grand Prix from Casper, from Softy, from Matt Tibbles, from Johners, from Jack Hickey. We're beginning lap 2. And Softy, he's right on the back of Casper now. And line astern is kind of the order we were in without Machine Ireland being there. Machine Ireland's season has started off great. It's gone from great to bad. Casper, though, he's going to try and make a move. He's not going to be close enough. He's got to watch out from Softy, who's got to watch out from Matt Tibbles, who had a wee look there. And the Mercedes, I tell you what, after me giving him a bit of heat, they're up to 11th and 12th. Good on the Mercedes, man. Obviously, guys pitting for damage. Matt Tibbles now moves to the right-hand side. He's going to try go around the outside of Softy. Round turn 2, we go. Softy going to try battle the 2. TGP1 Grace and Matt Tibbles. What a move on the soft tyres. Obviously, a bit more grip at this stage of the Grand Prix. But what a move it is from Matt Tibbles and Softy down into P4. Two guys have a great respect for each other. Probably Softy's favourite title challenger ever. Obviously, these two guys very clean, very respectful. They know how to race each other. Matt Tibbles, though, he wins the battle at this stage of the Grand Prix. Kai leads from Casper, from Matt Tibbles. That is your podium for the Hungarian Grand Prix on lap 2. We're getting to the end, though, and we're going to have DRS. Only 2 DRS straights. There's not going to be, only 1 DRS straight. There's not actually going to be much chance for overtakes. There is 2 actually. It's going to be straight 1 and straight 2. I'm talking out my bumhole. But Kai, he's not had a great sector 3. Casper, no DRS, but he will have a bit of hers. He's going to try and move to the right hand side of the track if Kai doesn't go defensive. Kai won't need to go defensive just yet. His line astern moves further back. The Red Bull and Machine Ireland making his way back up the order. He's into B7. Jack Hickey didn't really defend it too much. Matt Tibbles not going to have a chance to make a move round the outside this time around, but he is on the podium and that's all that counts. We're going to have DRS on this lap. Lap number 3. Casper just got to have a wee check in his mirrors. No penalties yet, so good start from the top 10. The Mercedes men, they're going to have a wee battle as well. They're 11th and 12th. That's a good haul of points for them this season after the great season they've not been having that they wished for. Softy, though, he's down in P4. He needs to get a move on. If he wants it to be 7 wins in a row, he needs to get back through the field, cut through them. Shouldn't be too hard for Softy to cut through the field. The guys ahead, they've not really been challenging for wins outside of Casper. But, guys, you've got to respect at the front of the field in TGP1. You don't get into TGP1 without being at a standard of the very best. Casper, though, he's going to have the DRS, the Alpine. He's going to have all the energy available to him, all the engine modes. The DRS will be open. He's not going to be quite close enough to Kai. Mediums versus mediums. Softy having a look. He's on the mediums as well. Johners is actually going to have a battle with Jack Hickey, and Jack Hickey manages to do the switchback on him. He's had a good bit of traction, but Jack Hickey not going to be able to make a move this time, but he might try around the outside, and Johners slams the door shut. He's going to try the flippity flop down the outside, but he can't quite get the move. And he's got the move up the hill, and Jack Hickey's got past the flippity flop did work, as Mike Noon would say, and he's up into P5. So Jack Hickey showing what he's got, and now it's a Red Bull sandwich that he was in, he's out of, and he's up into P5. Going to try and challenge the top 4. He's 1 second adrift. What can he do? Casper, 3 attempts. That gap's kind of stabilised. Matt Tibbles, he's on the softs, so you've got to keep an eye out for him at this stage. Obviously, it is Hungary, so those softs will go out of the kind of racing window pretty quickly. It's kind of that point, how long can he get them to last? for his mediums to be in a good nick come the end of the Grand Prix. Matt Tibbles, he's done that a lot. He's kind of been the man that started on the softs all season and gone on to the mediums, where everyone else has kind of been on the medium to soft strategy. We've got an Alpine stranded in the pit lane. Not sure what's happened there. Softy back down the inside of Matt Tibbles he goes. Matt Tibbles is going to fight it. The grip on the Haas is still there because Matt Tibbles has given it back to him and he's telling Softy, no thank you, I'm keeping the podium, but he's gone deep and that might allow Softy a little bit of a run on the Haas, and it's not. He slams the doors shut and Matt Tibbles doing his best Fernando Alonso impression and holding Softy behind for now. Softy going to have to try something different. Try a different strategy to get past the Haas at the moment. Speed Kai, he's doing what he needs to do to keep the Alpine behind. Casper maybe going to have to try a different strategy to get past the race leader. Kai started in P2. He got ahead into turn 2 and he's led ever since, even with the DRS being enabled. So, 2 of the top 4 Mercedes-powered cars. The Ferrari-powered Haas and obviously the Renault-powered Alpine in P2. A nice mixture of engines there, but it's all about the battle between the Mercedes-powered Williams and the Renault-powered Alpine, and the Mercedes seems to have the advantage. The Williams seems to have the advantage, something that we've come accustomed to in Formula 1 recently. The Williams seems to have good straight-line speed wherever we go. It kind of seems to have a really bad lack of downforce, which you would expect to really affect Kai in this kind of stage in the Grand Prix, especially around Hungary, but on these straights he just seems to be able to hold that advantage, which in the 6 laps we've had is allowing him to hold on to P1 and the race lead. Softy, he's not having the best of races at Hungary at the moment. He's kind of struggling to get past Matt Tibbles. You see the lovely camera shot of everyone piling through the chicane. Lovely from those guys at the front. And the Red Bulls, you'd expect them to swap sooner rather than later. They've been quite fond of the synchronised swimming as of such this season. It's happened a few times this season. Obviously Machine Island kind of battling for P2 in the championship. But those guys, they've kind of been the best team over the season. Softy currently carrying Aston Martin to a constructor's win, but they've been the best overall team, the best 2 drivers team, and Johners peels into the pits, so maybe a bit of team management there, allowing Machine Ireland to get some clean air and get a move done. But for the lead and for the final step of the podium, it's kind of just settled itself out a wee bit. The gaps are close, but no moves at the moment are being made. And the Mercedes have swapped positions as well. Mr. Giapelli's got past Neljak, so that's good for his race for now, getting ahead of his teammate. But further up the grid, it's kind of just a wee bit of a DRS train for me. Softy not able to get past Matt Tibbles because he's got the DRS on Casper. Casper not able to get past Speed Kai because, Kai's not got DRS. You'd expect him to be able to get past, but Kai, he's managing his tyres quite well. He's managing the fuel quite well because he seems to be in controlling fashion, even though that gap is quite close, 5 tenths. He's not seemed in any danger, has Kai, yet. One man that has seemed in a bit of danger the last couple of laps is Matt Tibbles, but he has fended off all challengers, and that challenger is 6-time world champion Softy. Will he be able to do it for the next lap? No, he won't, because he's pulling into the pits. Haas have called it a day, and Softy is now into some clean air a little bit to try and close up to the guys further ahead. Matt Tibbles onto the medium tyres he'll go. A bit of an undercut for him, so we'll see what he can do come the medium runners pit stop phase, which should be in about 4 laps. But at the moment, the battles are not kind of happening as what we'd expect them to be. There's nothing really major going on. Obviously the gaps seem to be kind of close towards the front, but they're not overtaking close. The Mercedes drivers are having a great Grand Prix. They're in 8th and 9th. Obviously a couple of guys have pitted. They've got Alistair Bain starting to catch up to the back of them guys. So the Mercedes might need to work in tandem a wee bit, get the strategist kind of form going. Obviously, Mercedes known for their rear gunner, and obviously they're known for pulling out a great strategy every now and then. Dom Smith is retired from the session, calling it a day on his night. Not great for him as his teammate outshining him again. Phil Bargill's in P6, which is a provisional P8, kind of showing Dom Smith up a wee bit in the Ferrari garage. Kind of not going well for Dom Smith this season. He's in P15 as the front runners are coming into the pits. And I tell you what, it is looking a bit doom and gloom around Hungary in Budapest. It's not looking the best. Maybe we're going to have a bit of spicy action towards the end concerning the weather. Casper has stayed out an extra lap, so he's going to be under pressure. He's got to try something different because there's no point in pitting on the same lap as Kai because Kai was ahead and he was holding on. So he's going to try and force the undercut to work. And there's nothing wrong with trying something different. What you've been doing is not working. Try something different and see what happens. And then Kai's come out behind Softy. And Softy's behind Johners. And Softy's ahead of Jack. Something's happened to Speed Kai. He's lost the lead of the Grand Prix. And I tell you what, Casper, Softy's battling Johners, and Johners is saying, no thank you, you're staying behind me right now. Johners is holding on quite well. Johners actually pit the previous lap. Johners is currently in provisional P1 or P2 at the moment. This is great for Casper. Casper could come out leading the Hungarian Grand Prix. I'm not sure what's happened to Kai here. He wasn't too far behind. He must have been held up in the pits. He must not have been allowed to go. There must be no unsafe release. So Kai's lost the lead in this Grand Prix to Jack Hickey and Softy and Johners, and Casper's in. Where is he going to come out, Casper? He's been released from his box now. The pit lane line, the safety car line is just there. What will it be for Casper? He's coming out the pits now. You're going to see Softy in frame there. There's Johners, and Softy is blasting past him, but Casper is ahead of Kai and he's ahead of Jack Hickey. Oh, there's a big crash! Alistair Payne's been taken out. I think it was by Johners, I'm not quite sure, and they're 4 wide. Casper's going to try and make a move round the outside. As Softy he goes. It's going to turn into the inside, and Softy manages to do what Matt Tibos did and hold on. And Kai has dropped down the order massively. Chris Johnson leads, but he's going to have to box. And Johners is currently your leader. Let's get the stops up. Yeah, Johners is leading the Grand Prix from Softy, from Casper, from Jack Hickey, from Speaker, Machine Ireland. Is actually back up battling these guys. The man that was down in 8th after turn 1, he's back up battling for the win of the Grand Prix. It's in Johners' hands though at the moment. He had an earlier stop, of course. It was about lap 6. He's struggling for batteries. You see the Christmas tree blinking on the back of the Red Bull. But Softy, how has he pulled this one off? The luck just seems to be in all of his favour. And it's gone from bad to worse. Kai's been passed by Machine Ireland. This is an absolute disaster. And Johners is not going to be able to hold on. He's got no grip in his softs already. Softy opens the DRS, using a bit of the battery. Nothing to defend with, as Johners have. And finally, Softy does get past Casper on the left. He gets past as well. Speed Kai going to try and get back past Machine Ireland. He does for now. Will he be able to hold on? Not quite. Kai is still battling away, but it's not going to be enough. The Red Bull man holds on. Casper wasn't able to get past Softy, and there you go. Softy leads the Grand Prix. So the man that boxed in P4 has come out somehow leading. And what a call that was from Aston Martin. And Casper, he was behind Kai. If he thought Kai was hard to get past, Softy's going to be even harder to try and get back past. Casper, who had the best Grand Prix of his life this season. I can't remember what round it was to save the life of me. He had a race, he did it perfectly. Every lap was absolutely perfect. He still lost to Softy. That's how good Softy is. So if you're going to get past Softy, it's going to be a mission. It's going to be hard. You're going to have to pull out all the tricks in the bag, all the stops. You're going to have to do something pretty magical. Round the final corner he goes. He'll open up the DRS on that beautiful Alpine. Is it going to be enough? He uses a bit of overtake. It doesn't look like it is. Softy goes defensive. And it's not quite going to be enough as he's run wide and Speed Kai's up the inside of Jack Hickey now. And he takes P4. So Kai making his way back up the grid. Going to try and get back on the podium. Casper though, he's battling tooth and nail with Softy. And Softy manages to hold on for now. Up the hill they go though. Casper not going to be able to challenge for the moment as we get through lap 12. We're halfway through lap 12. And I tell you what, this is spicing up to be just as good as the Dutch Grand Prix was. And here we go again. Casper, car number 72. He's been so impressive this season, especially at the beginning of the season. He's not had much luck towards the end of the season so far. But Softy taking a wee bit of a wider line there, maybe trying to get a better run off from that corner. It might have actually compromised him because Casper's closing in. He's a lot closer than he was on the previous lap. Softy goes defensive again. Casper though, right down the inside he goes. Absolute dive bomb. Softy, he pushes Softy as wide as he can within the limits, but Softy gets a good traction out of the corner. And he holds on for now. Obviously, these guys soft. Casper's one lap softer, better. He's trying to hold on with everything he's got, but Softy's car placement is just beautiful. Speed Kai on the back of the Red Bull of Machine Ireland, not going to be close enough to make a move. Jack Hickey has dropped massively off the back of this battle. And Johners, who boxed very early, struggling as well at the moment. As we get through the 13th tour of the Hungaro Ring. We did see it was doom and gloom when the pit stop phases come around. The sun seems to have broken through the clouds once more. It looks sunny, it looks good again. The track temperature going to rise, put the softs into a better working window. Johners has had a moment because he's dropped 2 positions behind Phil Bardwell, who's back up to P6. He's under pressure from Jovial Mani, who he'll be wanting to take P6 off the Ferrari man. But it's the battle at the front. We come round the final corner for the 13th time. We begin the 14th lap. We have got 5 laps of the Hungarian Grand Prix to go. It's not going to be a chance just yet for Casper to make a move. He's running out of time to win this Grand Prix. Kai is also running out of time to have a chance at the podium. The man that started P2, he got into P1, he's had a great Grand Prix, but I don't know what happened in the pit stop phases. He's managed to drop down the order through no fault of his own, but he's just not got enough in the tank at the moment to try and get back onto the podium. The race win looked like it was his, but once more Williams losing out on a race win that should have been theirs this season. Nothing new in season 41. And I tell you what, someone we've not talked about is Kai's teammate, Cam. The defending champion, he's down in 15th with a time penalty. He's the only man tonight in the 2 races to get a time penalty. Not been his night tonight so far. Casper though, 2 times the drift. If he can get a good run through this final part of the track, he'll be within striking distance on the start-finish straight. He's pushing the gearbox of the lovely Aston Martin. We come round the final corner once more. He's so close to the back of Softy. He'll open up the DRS. Will it be an opportunity? Softy goes defensive early. Casper on the left, going to be forced wide by Softy, who's gone defensive. Will he be able to push the Alpine wider than he would like? Casper trying his best, but Softy says no, and it's not enough again. Casper running out of laps. Jovial Mani is finally past Phil Bardwell, who's going to try and force his way back past the AlphaTauri into turn 2 and 3. Then 4 they go. But Jovial Mani holds on to his position. That's good racing, good racecraft from Jovial Mani and Dan the Man. Good of them, TGP1 veterans for now. Johners out of the Grand Prix. His night's been a disaster. Not great for the Red Bull man. And that allows Lewis, Craig, Dan the Man and Cam to pick up some much needed points. Dan the Man, he set the fastest lap in the Grand Prix last race. He's got the fastest lap this race, and that has been absolutely smashed to smithereens by New Zealand Cam. Softy though, he wasn't able to break the pole record in qualifying. He's worried about winning the 7th race in a row, his 8th win of the season. He's got Casper for company though. Casper wants his third ever TGP1 win in his debut season, his debut Hungaroring Grand Prix, and it's not going to be enough. Once more it's closing, but it's not going to be close enough. But look at Kai down the inside speed. Kai goes on the Red Bull, and Kai takes the third place, and Machine Island going to have something to say about that, but no, they've had a wee bit of contact. And that's me. Machine Ireland's run is not as good as he would have liked, and that might be going into the steward's office come the end of the Grand Prix if Machine Ireland can't get back past. And after last week's shenanigans with the Williams driver, I don't believe that's going to be too tasteful in the chat after tonight. But it's all about the lead of the Grand Prix. 3 laps to go, well, 2.5. We've only got limited amount of chances to make moves. It's at the Hungaroring, so you've not got much chance anyway. But if you don't make the moves now, it's kind of, you're in danger of not getting an opportunity later on. Casper, you've only got one job. Overtake Softy. Easier said than done. Most people can't win a race without Softy being here. Most people can't win a championship without Softy being here. But Casper has proven he can win races when Softy's here. He's proven he can beat the go of TGP1. But can he do it around the Hungaroring? And no, he's lost the back end. And once more I have cursed someone. And it looks like it's going to be curtains as we start the penultimate lap of the Grand Prix. Machine Ireland trying his best to get past. And I tell you what, Gioviamani, he's having a great Grand Prix. Down the inside of Jack Hickey, he'll go into turn number 1 before the braking zone. The AlphaTauri is up into P5, 6 seconds adrift of the Red Bull, so it might be the end of his overtaking in this Grand Prix. He's actually going to have to be defensive from Jack Hickey, but he holds on for now. And I tell you what, I know we brought it up, Casper picks up a penalty. Oh, it's just gone from bad to worse from Casper. I tell you what, we brought it up earlier tonight. Chris Johnson is having a great night. He's in P8. He was P9 in the last race. But these guys are showing TCB2 proud. Chris Johnson in P8, Mr. Giapelli in P9, Nell Jack in P10. The Mercedes, the Aston Martin, they've not had great seasons. But with 1 lap to go, they're being great. They're showing everyone what their talent truly has. And we're just giving him a bit of stream time now. The Grand Prix is kind of settled into formation as everyone seems to have settled into great place. Lewis Craig, he showing TGP2 proud as well. He's had a bit of a bad night, but he's in P12. He's going to be P10, P11, sorry, if I can get my positions right. It's going to be P11 if he can keep between the white lines, because Danaman's picked up a time penalty. And I tell you what, Machine Ireland though, round the outside of Speed Kai, he's going to try the switchback. The switchback is going to work for him. The Red Bull driver trying to force his way. As you can see on the right hand side, he's absolute left hand side, so he's blasted past. By the time we looked left, you couldn't even see Kai, and onto the podium goes Machine Ireland, and it might be P2 if he can keep within that gap. Kai could be on the podium as well with Casper's penalty, but he's going to want P2. He's going to want 18 points. And he's going to want bragging rights over Machine Ireland in the Red Bull if he can. These guys were battling tooth and nail at the Belgian Grand Prix last week, and I believe it was Machine Ireland that came out on top come the end. But this is it. It's all down to this final couple of moments. There's not really a chance now to make an overtake. Lewis Craig has been passed by Kai into turn number 1, but Lewis Craig, with the time penalties in his advantage, should regain P12. He's actually dropped out of Dan Le Mans time penalty, so that's unlucky for Lewis. But there you go. Round the final corner. It was 6 in the Netherlands. It's 7 in Hungary. It's 7 in a row for the Soft Cup. He wins the Hungarian Grand Prix. Machine Ireland does take P2, and Kai does get on the podium. He deserves that. With Casper, who could have had the win, but it fell away from him. Another mistake cost him P4. Gioviamani, he was kind of out of the Grand Prix in the mid part. He got the penalty, he got the pit stop right, he got on the right tyres, and it's a great result. P5. Jack Hickey, P6. Phil Bargell showing up his teammate once more. He's in P7. Phil, he's kind of sneakily having a good season actually, Phil Bargell. Good one for him tonight in P7. And there's your man, the driver of the night in my opinion. It's not the Aston Martin you're thinking. It's Chris Johnson. It's P8 and P9. Mr. Giapelli and Neil Jack, 9th and 10th. A great result for those guys. Dan the Man, A great P11 for, well, not a great P11 for him. P11 for Alfa Romeo, they'll be disappointed. Lewis Craig, P12, he manages to get to the end of the race, which is unlike anyone else he's battling in the championship. Finished ahead of Lewis on the road, but it was only P13 that he could manage. And now you see the guys on that cool down lap, maybe giving the fans a wee wave. Softy though, on the podium, on that top step. It's 7 in a row. And I tell you what, this Aston Martin mechanic or team principal or whatever he is, he must have sore knees walking up these steps all the time. He's up there for the 7th week in a row. You see the Aston Martin crew, what a job they've done this season to give that car to Softy, the man that doesn't need a car that is any good, because he'd probably win in the worst car, but Aston Martin doing the business in the factory in Great Britain, doing the job for Softy. 7 wins in a row, and that's your Hungarian Grand Prix. That has been your night in TGP1 again. Unfortunately for us as viewers, Softy picks up 2 wins, but for us as viewers, it's been a great night. 2 great Grand Prix, and a certain someone that chose to watch the Arsenal game will be absolutely devastated that he didn't get to watch this live, and we can only hope that Bayern Munich are absolutely 5-0 up. But there's no bias in TGP1. But that has been your final order. Matt Tibos rounded out the grid. He finished 14th. He picked up the fastest lap of the Grand Prix on the final lap. We didn't catch that. But a bad night for Matt Tibos all around. But it was a good night for the TGP2 guys in the TGP1 field. Softy picked up another 2 wins. He picks up 7 in a row from Softy. And I tell you what, the Confessor, he might need to free up a Tuesday, because he might need to get that win. He might need to come and challenge Softy and get a victory, because Softy's getting close to that 12-win streak. Softy, we thought, was going to be under pressure. We thought this was going to be a 4-way battle for the championship. No, Softy's dominated. He is the man. He looks like he's going to be the season 41 champion. He looks like he's going to break down a man's pole position record of 90. He looks like he's going to break the win record if anyone can stop him. Confessor, he might need to come out of retirement for that one. And I tell you what, Softy, come the end of the season, when we get to the championship interview, he's going to have a few interviews. This pole position breaking, the race winning breaking interviews, they're going to be coming as well. Softy's in for a long night before he gets to his after party for the championship. But that's been your night. That's been rounds 11 and 12 of TGP1, season 41. And as the night comes to a close, you've just got to take your hat off to everyone, especially for the Dutch Grand Prix. No penalties around Zandvoort. A few guys with DNFs, but this just shows you why TGP1 is the best of the best. We might not know, we don't know if we're going to be here for a 42nd season. We've been on the go since 2011. It's something in the pipeline. Discussions are being had back at the London headquarters. We're trying to force Dom into season 42, but if it is the end, if it is season 41 that's going to close the chapter on this great championship, this great contenders series, this has been a great season. We've had some great races, and I'm sure Owen and Mike Noon will agree that this has been an absolute wonderful season to commentate on. But it's not over. We've got 6 to go. We've got Abu Dhabi, Saudi Arabia next week. Make sure you are here 7:20 on the dot. You do not want to miss next week's Grand Prix. I'm going to let everyone go and watch the final moments of the Champions League matches, because I'm sure you're all sick of my voice at this point. I've been Jack Craig. This has been TGP1, and we'll see you on PS4.